There is so much going on in this music video that I could talk about it for a really long time, but to keep this video short, I'm just going to pick a couple frames and a couple concepts that really caught my attention. I'm wearing this shirt for a reason, and I'll explain later. Welcome back to the Filmmakers blog. My name is Kevin Votzek. I'm a freelancer and filmmaker in the San Diego area. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Cinematography of. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the video High Right Now by Tyla Yahew. Okay, this guy has to be a fan of Breaking Bad. There was no doubt in my mind. When I saw the beginning, I was like, Jesse! Just take a look. The second reason why I think he's been binge watching a little too much Breaking Bad is the fact that they've been shooting through glass. And this can be considered a type of a point of view shot. But what I'm referring to is when the subject appears to be on or over the camera. Let me know in the comments if any of that imagery reminded you of Breaking Bad. I find those images so iconic for that TV show, and I haven't really seen anybody else take advantage of that style until now. All right, let's get a little more serious and take a look at two frames that I really liked. And something that I feel like encompasses the idea behind these two frames is the phrase creating shadow with light. Just at first glance, this isn't really a low light image. It's not extremely dark. Yet we have an overwhelmingly strong feeling for darkness with this frame. But as we go in to analyze this frame, we'll see that there is a lot of light here, and that the light actually creates the illusion of it being extremely dark. First thing first, we need to analyze our key light. What is our main source of light for this frame? And it is in our top right part of the screen, coming through those windows. It is either a lamp or the sun out there shining in, but the source outside has a downward trajectory, and we can tell based off the shadows on the wall. You can also tell by the shadow that the bed and the lamp are creating. They're all coming down at an angle. There are some curtains over the windows which are going to be softening up the light a little bit. The shadows over here are kind of hard though, and I'd say that happens because the lamp and the bed are so close to the wall, so it'll still be a fairly sharp shadow if you're right up against the wall. And I'm using the word fairly because it really depends on the size of the light source when you're talking about shadows. In this instant, when we're talking about the lamp, the light source is as big as the window, but it is across the room, and when you have that distance, the light source relative to the lamp is actually not that big. It's smaller since it's across the room. Now, if the lamp is right next to the window, since it's really close, the window in proportion to the lamp will be much bigger, causing the shadows to be softer. So now that we've identified our key light, let's take a look to see if there's any other lights in play in this frame. Right away, I see some type of a backlight in the back room. There's also two color temperatures. Right between the crack of the door frame, there is more of a blue color temperature, and I think that could possibly be another window in the background. Yet once you go up and see the top of the ceiling in the back room, it has more of an orange color tone, and that would be more of a tungsten, possibly a practical. If that's a bathroom, the bathroom lights may have been turned on, giving that orange hue compared to everything else. Lastly, I don't believe there is much of a fill at all. I think the far right window is providing an ambient for the front of the room, which is curving around Tyla here, and therefore making the front of his body not pitch black. So that's our quick lighting scheme for this image, but how does that light create shadows? Well, the direction of this light is coming in off of his screen right shoulder. Therefore, a lot of the light is getting blocked before it hits his face and the front of his body. So those shadows being created, especially on our main subject, gives the illusion of a much darker image, because the subject that we're trying to look at, the one we're trying to pay attention to, is much darker than the sources in the same screen. So there's a big difference from the bright white of the windows to our dark subject. The second shot I want to take a look at, this has a similar but different setup than the first image. This is more of a true silhouette, creating darkness with light. In this image, she's almost entirely backlit, which causes a ton of shadow to be rendered in the foreground, totally blocking out any features at all. You can't really see anything from, eyes, clothing, hair. It's all just an outline, a silhouette of our figure. As the shot finishes, we still continue to create shadow with light, but in this instance, there is another window coming more above. With her tilting back her head, there's just enough light to creep into the foreground for us to render that that's not actually hair, those are feathers. And we can see the features of her face and understand a little bit of the image. Now that shot was quite amazing because it went from a strict silhouette to we couldn't see anything, couldn't render any detail in the foreground, to more of a loose silhouette where the backlight is still creating a lot of shadows, but we're able to tell certain things in the foreground. We're able to start to get those details. There's one more thing I want to talk about, and I actually talked about it in the last cinematography video, but it is a great concept, and it's done in this video a lot, and you really can't unsee it. It's right there. So I want to talk about interactive lighting. Interactive lighting is any light that moves, flashes, dims, changes color. It's basically any light that interacts with the subject in frame. Near the end of this video, we have a ton of interactive lighting with some tube lights placed on the ceiling on some of these images. Now these lights are flashing very fast with a strong blue tone, and those flashes give the video a lot of energy, and it really spices up what would be a very simply lit shot. Interactive lighting also came at a different scene. During the shot where Tyla is lying down with all kinds of snakes and women, there is a hard, harsh light flickering around over his face, and that would be another form of interactive lighting. Any type of light that is interacting with the subject. It's moving around, it's causing attention to itself, it wants to be seen, and again, it spices up what would really be a simply lit shot. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. If you liked the video, give it a like, say hello in the comments, I'd love to talk to you all, and make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get my future videos. Come on!